Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Welcome to Ask Rob and Rob. Thank you for joining us for 2 more listener questions and 2 more answers. Those questions coming up in just a sec, but it's so easy, Rob, to send your question our way.
The easiest way to do it is go to propertyhub.net/ask, where you will find our telephone number that you can leave a message on, or you can leave a message directly on that page, and you can get a link to where you can submit your question for the Sunday Times, because Rob and I answer your questions each and every week in the home section of the Sunday Times. So make sure you check us out there. Okay, first up, we don't have a name. So when we don't have a name, we make it up. So our first caller today will be called Mo.
Hi there, Rob and Rob. I wanted to say, firstly, thank you for all of the content. It's been amazing. For actually giving me the kind of inspiration to purchase my first property. So, yeah, thanks for that. My question is basically around that first property, actually. I've got a bit of a good/bad situation, which I kind of need your advice on how to kind of navigate. And basically what it is, I've rented out the property, seem to have a nice enough tenant in there, paid 5 months up front. It's a 1-year contract that we got with them on the standard lease. We've gone in there after our first inspection, after about 3 or 4 months, and the tenant has kind of upgraded the house by new decking, painted the walls, new wallpaper, TV walls, all that kind of stuff. So the question is should I be happy? Should I be sad? How do I navigate the situation? Who is responsible legally for damage to the house, if there is any, with regards to, these upgrades or removing it, or if they move out the property, who's responsible for looking after it? Well, there's so many different questions that come as part of this change. So if you can give me some advice, that'd be great. Thanks, and keep up the good work. Bye.
Thank you, Mo, for your question. It's a bit of a tricky one, this. I've had it happen to myself in different ways. So I'll give you my experience and then you can decide on what you want to do. So I've had a tenant go in and paint, without my permission, the walls in a quite striking purple colour. I would say that it was a very particular taste of decor. And because it was a very particular taste of decor, when that tenant left, I had to repaint the apartment, so it came out of their deposit. May sound harsh, but they didn't ask for my permission. I've had another example where someone's done a minor upgrade to the property, and it's been really nice, and I've been happy with it. And that's what you have to decide here. You need to decide whether you are happy with what has been done or unhappy. And the way to judge this is not really judge it on your tastes, but judge it on the tastes of the market. Next time you put this property back onto the market to let, will it help let the property or will it hinder? If it helps, then I would speak to the tenant and ask them to check with you before they do anything else in the future, which is what normally happens. And I've had that happen loads of times, and that's absolutely fine. But if it's not going to help you let it in the future, then you can address that now by saying don't do any more without, consulting me. And then when it comes to the end, you can make that decision on whether you want to redecorate the property. And if you do, charge that out of the deposit. So it's a call, really. And it's going to come down to whether you feel it's improved the property or whether it's hindered it from a rentability point of view. And then you can decide. You may be a lot more relaxed than I am, but that's how I've approached it in the past. So good luck.
Okay, let's hear now from James.
Hi, Rob. James from Birmingham here. Thanks for all the content and the tips, especially on using AI. I use Audio Pen quite a lot now, so thanks for that recommendation. So my situation is my partner and I bought our first house in 2017 for $180,000. Moved again in 2020 as our family was growing to a property worth $275,000. We didn't sell the property we had as it wouldn't sell, so we ended up paying higher rate SDLT on our purchase and renting out the original house. Still do that to this day. The situation now is the family has grown again and we need to move again, and we found a great house at 385. However, we still can't sell the original house. We put it up a couple of times, just not gone for what it needs to be able to cover its costs. The question is, will we need to pay higher rate SDLT on the whole purchase price of our new house as we're moving out of our main residence, or just the difference between the two purchases? So in this case, that'd be 110k. Or is there something else I need to consider? Just thinking, as it doesn't seem quite fair that I'd have to pay quite a punishing high rate SDLT coming in at around 18,000 for a situation I've repeatedly tried to get out of. Love the content. Thanks a lot.
James, thank you for your question. I'm glad you're making use of AI as well. Really good to hear. What's not so good to hear is the challenges that you're having with stamp duty. But there is some good news for you. Because as you've said, you have to pay an extra 3% stamp duty if you're buying a property and you already own a property. So if on the day you buy the property, you'll own 2 or more, then you pay an extra 3% on that purchase. But there is an exemption for if you're replacing your main residence. So in the case of the move that you're making now, it sounds like you're replacing the home that you're living in now. So if you sell the property that you're living in today, and on the same day or a following day, you buy another home, then you won't need to pay the higher rate of stamp duty. Of course, those purchases might not line up exactly. So you might continue to own the home that you're living in now for an extra, say, month after you buy your next one. If that happens, then you will need to initially pay the extra 3%, but then you can claim it back and you get 3 years in which to claim it back. So this is something that you could have done with your previous purchase. If you weren't able to sell it straight away, but you were able to sell it within 3 years, then you could have claimed the stamp duty back. Of course, you weren't able to sell it within 3 years as it happened, but hopefully that property is working for you as a rental. And now you can move into the property that you really want to be in without that original property costing you anything extra in terms of tax. So glad to pass on some good news. Thank you for those questions. We'll be back to answer more questions next week, and we'll be answering questions in the Sunday Times, of course, on Sunday. But before then, we'll see you for the Property Podcast on Thursday. Until then, have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.